All right, squad, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm breaking down the two trades that I took. The first one on IWM for 44% on puts, and the second one on QQQ. Now, I didn't trade options on QQQ. I just traded SQQQ, which is the ETF. Costs less, and you can make a decent amount on it as well. So, with that being said, we're going to break down exactly what I was thinking with both of these trades today. Number one thing we can see going into the day is yesterday we had FOMC. As you can see, we had this absolutely massive rip down. I did have a small trade yesterday within this massive gap down on SQQQ. I just took a short on a pullback. It was just a very, very small trade. I didn't hold it very long. I should have held it longer. I would have made an absolute bag for sure, but I ended up not holding it very long just because it was news. I didn't want it to turn around and rip up on me. So with that being said, on today's two trades, the first one was on IWM, so we're going to go over that first. Since we had this giant gap down, we should see a retracement, some sort of a retracement, maybe not a massive one, but at least some sort of retracement. So my first idea going into the day was going on the 5-minute time frame and marking out each one of the highs. Now, the reason I chose the 5-minute time frame was because the 15-minute did not have for the 15-minute, the most recent high would have been all the way up here, and I know that we're not going to go. I know that we're not going to retrace the whole move the very next day. So I decided to go on the 5-minute time frame, and zooming in on the 5-minute time frame, we could see we had like some consolidation right here, and then this was a high right here that we put in. And this was a lower high that we put in right here. So I marked out those two highs, and then I also marked out this consolidation from yesterday. I was considering this consolidation as well, but it was much less likely that we were going to push up to there. So I marked out this consolidation here. Going down to the 2-minute time frame, I actually took my entry off I think it was the 1 minute on IWM today, but on the 2-minute time frame, you could see price had already found its support, sweeping liquidity on a higher time frame, and started to push up. And I marked out some of these areas from the pre-market. So previous resistance turned to support right there, and then previous resistance turned to support right there again. And if I was going to take a downside trade, those are going to be my targets. So those were my targets actually for this trade. And we zoom in on the 2-minute, we can see I wanted price to come up to this 225.07. We pushed up. We didn't quite hit 225.07. 220. We hit 224.44 or whatever. We pushed up. We pushed back down, right? And then we created a 2-minute fair value gap, and it's super tiny. You guys can't really see it, but it's in here. It's a 2-minute fair value gap. If I can zoom in, a 2-minute fair value gap within here. And knowing that we had such a strong rejection out of this area, I decided to take that 2-minute fair value gap. So I entered after I saw 1, 2, 3 rejects off of those, and I entered off this candle and then set stops above the highs. So it wasn't too high risk of a trade because stops above these highs, and then if I could have taken another trade if that one lost, if price wanted to push up a little bit higher and then reject out of it. But I would have rather entered and gotten in the position rather than waiting for it to exactly hit 225.07. So I entered here after 3 rejections of this 2-minute fair value gap. And once again, it's a very small 2-minute fair value gap. 3 rejections, entered right here, stops above this high. And then we basically just wrote it down to the targets. First target was 222.50. And the second target was 221.54. Now, obviously, as you guys can see, red arrows are my entries, purple arrows are my exits. I entered here, and then I exited about halfway in between both targets. So we took this first target pretty quickly, which I was stoked about. But then we started to lag out on this one. So once we got that next push down, I just decided to get all out. And obviously, as you can see, I should have held because we went and hit my target anyways. So literally screw me, I guess. But overall, that was the trade on IWM. So not a bad trade, very quick, just went straight to the point. So, and every time that we have like a massive move down, we're going to have some sort of retracement, some reaction off of it. So it was just beautiful, beautiful price action. So that being said, we're going to go into the QQQ trade. QQQ trade was clean as well. Now, there wasn't anything major on it. It's just kind of based on how QQQ moves and what I was seeing on IWM. So IWM had already went up, rejected, and so did QQQ. As soon as we opened, we rejected around this area right here, around this high from yesterday. We had taken that high and we started to move down. So my trade on this wasn't until after the IWM play. So QQQ came back up, started to reject off of this 9, the 20, and the 45, and the 200. So 9, 20, 45 EMAs, and then the 200 moving average. And we came back into this area of consolidation here. QQQ is super freaking choppy. Like I said, I like trading IWM now that I've seen such clean price action. So I'm kind of steering away from QQQ, but we pulled back up into this level here, and I saw an opportunity because I knew that QQQ would want to take these lows, or at least take this previous low before continuing up higher. So we pulled back up into here. I watched it start to reject and not make progress above this high we put in. I watched it not make progress and start to reject off of those EMAs and the moving average. Entered right there, stops above here. This is a super, super, super low risk trade. I entered on this candle, and if we were going to break above this candle right here, I was out. Like, I wasn't risking very much just because I had the winner on IWM already. So I entered here, literally just targeted the lows, and then this ended up being a bigger trade than the IWM trade. So both of those, I guess the QQQ trade wasn't necessarily based on an order block or based on a fair value gap or anything like that. It was simply based on watching the EMAs, knowing that price wants to go take this liquidity level down here, this blue dashed line, and then just being safe with the trade. So this low we put in, as soon as we took that, I'm out. I'm not even waiting for this, just because I know that QQQ is much more choppy than IWM, and I don't fully trust it. And as you can see, I was right, because we went down, but we didn't take this low. And old me would have been holding this the entire time. We would have pushed back up here, and then I would have stopped out just for us to go down and then basically hit the target perfectly. So I just wanted to take what I could get out of this and move on with the day. With that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys learned something from this and can apply it to your trading as well. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.